It's the time of year when we get many of you asking if we're cold living inside of this old stone building. I'd say if you're a nudist, this would not be a good choice of dwelling for you. On the other hand, if you're like us and enjoy slightly cooler temperatures, you'd be in luck. Let us explain. We have two boilers. This one runs on oil and the other wood. Heating these old chateaus can be challenging, but must be done in order to preserve them properly. If you don't, wood will begin to warp, window frames will rot, plaster will crumble and crack. Even the electrical systems can get damaged in the damp. And if you have any clothing, unless of course you're a nudist, you'll find them becoming mildewy and pretty gross. So if you're thinking about buying one of these properties, prepare to heat them or else you'll end up with a big pile of garbage. Well, welcome to our basement.
Well, this year we've been warmer. The weather hasn't been bad, but still, we started off earlier this year with a tank of oil and trying to keep the house from getting too cool, because once it cools down, it's not warming back up very quickly.
Last year, this wasn't working properly. We couldn't get the chateau heated as we'd like, so we were primarily using oil, which costs a decent amount of money.
More than free wood.
Butterfly.
Wood is free, oil isn't.
To fill our oil tank, it's, maybe €1,100. And if we were just using that nonstop, a tank would last us maybe a month?
Probably a month and a half.
A month and a half, if we ran it all the time.
Maybe 2 months.
But we never run the heat all the time because there are days you just don't need it and it gets too hot up there. So we had a guy come out.
He cleaned the flue. And it's a long flue because the chimney goes all the way up to the peak of the house. So that's basically 5 stories, including the attic, 60 feet at least. And so that's a long flue that could have lots of soot in it. Last year, when this one wasn't working so well, we started using the oil more. And then I started having a problem with the oil boiler, where it seemed like it was clogged or something. I did some investigation and I opened up the little inspection door in the bottom of the flue and realized that whole section there had filled up with soot that had fallen down off the sides of the flue. So, and it had gotten up to the level where it was partly blocking the exhaust coming out of the oil boiler.
So you didn't realize that? I mean, you had cleaned it, but I guess you didn't realize.
It had been cleaned not that long, at least that part had been cleaned not that long before. But I think just from burning lots of wood,
it collects faster.
It creates more, like if you weren't burning just oil, you probably don't need the flue cleaned as often.
Yeah.
But the wood is kind of a dirtier.
Right. Yeah. Your special technique is to turn the oil boiler on first?
Right. If I use just the wood, it takes maybe 3 hours from when I start a fire to where the heaters are actually putting out heat. That's a lot of wood to go through in 3 hours just for that. The oil boiler, this is a monster, and you run this for about 20 minutes and everything's hot. There's heat coming out. So run this for 20 minutes, then get the fire going and switch over, and it's
been working.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing because this runs hotter. I mean, the radiators just get. I mean, it gets hot up there to the point where it's like, you can walk around in t-shirts.
Not every room is like that, so you have a choice of.
You can.
They vary in how
obviously,
hot they are.
I mean, we have single glazed windows, which
are original. I mean,
they're all original windows.
Glass that's close to 200 years old.
Yeah, so that's going to stay for now, unless we get some incredible windfall and we can have custom made double glazed windows, which would cost a fortune.
Yeah.
But I wish this butterfly would get out of here. Is there any way I can get it? Can you open that window?
If you want me to, I can go get a ladder and.
Yeah, this thing has been. I feel bad. This thing is just like. Okay, cut. Butterfly rescue. careful, you're on a cord, a pipe. Well, the butterfly's still flying around here, obviously.
Yeah. Windows open, but
yeah,
he's
the
not
window's
leaving.
open. You put the ladder there, and some of the oil came out.
Oh yeah,
He's swearing. It's like the butterfly's still here.
the spigot for draining the oil tank is right there, and I hit it with the ladder, and oil started coming out.
So now we had to stop and put some kitty litter down. The butterfly's still here. I feel bad.
Detour.
Whatever. The door's open. But anyway, we needed the window open for ventilation anyway, because that's the other thing that's super important in these old buildings is you need ventilation, right? Even basements are particularly important. So we tend to leave this window open most of the year.
Yeah,
unless it gets super
like
cold.
Below freezing out, which is rare.
Then
I've closed it a couple of times, but it's better to have the air coming in.
Yeah.
It's good for this too, cool air.
We've mentioned before we don't have central heating on our living quarters where the bedrooms are. We just have electric heaters. But we find that once the first floor is warmed up, obviously the heat rises. Right. It's not an ideal situation. Now that the heat is on all the time, it's not super
it's not so bad.
Uncomfortable.
You can always find a warm spot if you're cold.
Yes, but it's not going to be permanent. Since we have access to this entire floor.
We're going to put pipes in so we have hot water heating underfloor, and we can do this whole main floor, and then that frees up. I think we have 9 radiators on that floor, so then maybe we can move them upstairs. I'm not sure what.
Yeah,
we'll do exactly.
we're not sure yet.
The upstairs, it's going to be harder to try and put in underfloor heating because the first floor has all the decorative ceilings, and you can't really take those down or you ruin them.
The important thing is we're warm. The building stays warm.
Our first year here, everything in the closet got kind of mildewy.
Yeah. I have a heater in our closet. Anything of value.
Which I guess
clothing.
You can also call it a dressing room. It's not just a closet.
It's a dressing room. Yeah, our dressing room. So I do have a heater running all the time in the colder months just for that reason. Because if you don't have heat, your clothes are just going to be garbage. And I had to throw some things away. So that was a lesson learned. I didn't know that.
But that happens with other stuff too, right? I mean, for just, your furniture.
Yep.
Anything upholstered.
Anything. So you have to heat. If
you're not heating, then everything's going to get ruined.
Right. Ideally, what I would like to do, since we have so much wood on the property, is buy a wood boiler that takes wood chips and a hopper, and then that's free heating.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And it's just easier because you don't
have a wood chipper.
Yeah, we need a wood chipper and a new boiler. But I think down the road, that's sort of what we want to do. I think that would be the ideal situation for us. Yeah. Here's this butterfly.
It likes the heat, I guess.
I know.
And the light.
Maybe we don't want to kick them out. So this is how windy it is. Our furniture has moved itself. It's crazy. I can't even move that. And all our cushions are in the driveway, which is not good. Seems like we get these kind of storms regularly. All right, one left. What I thought was going to be a relaxing Sunday afternoon always just turns into, something. But whatever. I guess I'll rest when I'm dead. I'm sure it's hard to see or hear me, but Lincoln's out there, right there, fixing the fence. It's a huge storm for the last couple of days. So we have a lot of branches and trees down. Little trees, but we'll come out and chainsaw those. When the weather gets really rough, the donkeys tend to stand over here. That's their area. They generally don't like to be in their house. They like to be out in the open. Nobody really cares for this weather. Hi, Dominic. That's Marble in the window looking out like a little princess out of her tower. Oh, Marble. I'm glad she's not out here in the terrible weather. December is almost here, and while we did search our forest for a Christmas tree, we came up with two options. A tree 5 inches tall or something a tad too large at 25 feet. We opted for the garden center. So the problem is they don't have really big trees here like we got last year.
Well,
there's one in the corner over there, huh?
yeah, it looks pretty straight too. I mean,
Yeah.
they call it 2.5 meters, but it might be taller. That's why I brought my tape measure.
Oh, you're so smart. See it. So is it crooked, or is it grown crooked, or just crooked in the little bush thing?
Yeah, I think a lot of these grow on hills. So, kind of Does it look
I can't
here?
It does. So it's grown crooked.
I think they all kind of do that.
These are teeny little ones, but these are only almost 19 euro. It's really inexpensive. Someone's yelling for me. Oh, hold on. Yes.
That's about the same height.
What's that?
That's about the same height.
Same height as what?
Well,
Last year?
As the tree. My tape measure.
I don't know what you're asking me. Oh, your tape measures higher than the top.
By how much? Stand back further.
Well, go lower. Go lower.
I want to know.
What? Your tape measures higher.
You don't have a good angle here.
How am I going to get through these trees? We just have to make sure to get a tree without a bird in it. So cute. So they have less trees here, but they seem to be better quality and straighter. How much are they though? They look very expensive.
Does it look like it's curved? It's crooked. If they just had it cut weird.
Yeah, I know.
If the bottom is going straight up and down.
I can't tell.
It's pretty thick.
It's a little too full for me, but I kind of like a Charlie Brown tree.
It is pretty full, yeah.
But in the end, it doesn't really matter. Isn't that a Linkin Park song? So it's got the perfect trunk for cats to climb up. cute is this?
What's that for?
It's a hedgehog house. Oh my gosh. Look at that.
Get one for your pet hedgehog?
Well, we do have hedgehogs. Oh, look, they even have food for hedgehogs, but our hedgehogs eat the cat food. I think he broke the tree. Did you break it?
I lifted it off of the...
Oh, just lean it up against the wall. The other thing we forgot to mention, any fireplaces that we're not using, we need to block up.
There are no dampers in
No.
the flues, so all the air just runs right
All the
up.
air rushes up, so we purchased insulation. Because we do have an issue with one of the kittens, Marble. We couldn't find her. And she climbed up the chimney, and we've never ever had that happen with any kittens we've ever owned.
She did it because she was trying to escape, because she was really afraid.
She was terrified. Now look at her. She's you know,
much better now.
we're concerned once she's out into the wild of the chateau that she climbs chimneys.
Good, just for fun.
I mean, it was terrifying because I remember she climbed up and she was meowing and the meows were muffled. And on the third floor, you're close to...
Right, that's the shortest.
Yeah.
You know, that's the closest to the top. So
to the top. So
she could have climbed all the way
you
to the top.
ran outside and you were looking for her to see if she
Looking to
popped
see.
out. It was horrible. I'm like, we've lost a kitten. It was just a sinking feeling. So we had to plug up that chimney. And so just to be on the safe side, we're going to plug up any areas that she has access to. So lesson learned, if you have kittens and open chimneys, make sure to check that they're not going up there.
Yeah.
Because that was a really scary situation for us. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, and if you have something to say, leave us a comment.